on Facebook as well. Okay, please guys, don't unmute your mics. Please, 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 please. Okay, so we have Miss Pallavi Agarwal here. Um, yeah, she would be speaking on basics of Django. Like, you guys can see the screen. Can you? You can unmute the mic for that, please. Anyone want to throw some? Wow, how did you bring that up?
What? I'm sharing my
This,
screen, right? So, yeah.
yeah, you
Yes.
are sharing your screen. Oh, sorry. I
Okay.
got it.
Okay. So, yeah.
Okay, so
I
like
which.
we are still having people coming in. So I think we
Mhm.
should wait for 5 more minutes and then we shall start.
Okay.
Would that
Okay.
be okay?
Definitely fine with me. Till then, I can practice saying Assalamu alaikum.
Okay, and Pallavi, like if you feel to like speaking in Urdu or Hindi, like almost everyone can understand.
Okay. No, well, I am more comfortable with the English as of
Yeah,
now.
sure.
Okay.
But I love to listen to your Hindi accent. But not now. Not now.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Okay, Mohammed Nabi. Yeah, why I can't see this message? These messages. I don't know why.
Okay, we are not
Okay,
writing.
yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Mohammed Naveed, first the webinar is first step in the world of Django Diwali. I will be discussing it. Don't worry. Hey guys, don't worry. Like, yeah, first of all, let me tell you all. Okay, at the end of the event, we'll have a feedback form, and whosoever will fill that feedback form will get a certificate, and he or she will be considered for the JetBrains raffle. So if you're planning to bail upon in the middle of the session, just keep in mind to join later. Like join again, please, if you feel like leaving the event. But I would suggest don't leave the event because this would be really beneficial for everyone. So yeah, don't leave the event. Okay, Pallavi, I think we should start now because the time is running out, and we are already live on Facebook for like 4 minutes.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So let's start.
Yeah, let's start.
Okay, let's start with Django. Okay, one thing to keep in mind, it's not Django, it's pronounced Django. Okay, a lot of people often commit this mistake. So yeah, okay, and let's start with what Django is. So this is a Python framework that helps you build websites as well as web apps. You really need to understand the difference between web apps and websites. There is a minor difference, but yeah, it helps you build web apps very quickly, and it helps you to do that very quickly with very less code. And how it helps you to do it with the less code, we will be like discussing it. Okay, and a lot of people were asking about the prerequisites as well, so let me just give you like what you need to know. So when it comes to Python, you need to know basic Python,
Pallavi, excuse me, sorry to interrupt you, but
yeah.
like, can you minimize the that PIP at the bottom right?
Ah, okay, okay, yeah,
Yeah,
okay,
thank you so much.
great. Okay. So, what are your prerequisites? Well, when it comes to basic Python, you need to know functions, classes, and decorators. If you do not know decorators well, then it's pretty fine. You will understand. But if you are actually if you actually want to understand and grasp the things like where you can have session management, then you really need to know decorators. And basic HTML CSS, when it comes to HTML, you just need to know body tags, different sort of tags, attributes, and the closing tags and all. And when it comes to CSS, like simple selectors is like just understanding that is enough to start with the basic project. But if you want to go deep, just run deep. And for the software requirements, any operating system will do fine. There is no particular requirements when it comes to OS. And I will recommend you to use Python 3.x versions and not to go below that. And for editor, well, you can use a lot of editors. You can use a Sublime Text, you can use Atom, or maybe you can directly work with command line. But I personally recommend using PyCharm, and I recommend that because of the virtual environment support and a lot of features that PyCharm Community Edition provides. And now, if someone asks why do I even need that virtual environment? So peeps, you actually need a virtual environment when you are working with different projects. Maybe you will need different distributions. Maybe you need different versions of your of your installed files, and maybe at the end of the day, you are working with the two projects which involved different versions of Python as well. So you actually need to work with virtual environment. Okay, and moving ahead. Okay, I'm not on screen. Yeah. So, okay, when you want to create a project, just open, I have, oh, okay, just open your Python Community Edition. You will be just name it, the virtual environment. You can you can use an existing interpreter as well, but I prefer to go with this. Before even using this, if anyone is having any doubt, just make sure that you have Python installed on your system. Otherwise, it won't work. Okay. And moving on, it will load your environment and you will be redirected to your project. Okay, and now, as you can see, here is the terminal option. There must be a terminal option. We will be going to Python in a minute, but before that, when you go to pip list, you have two things over here, two packages here by default. And after that, you just have to go for pip install Django. Once done, your project is ready. Okay, let me just go to my project which I have ready here. Oh no. Okay, I have one more thing ready over here. You must be you must be having this without this my project and a venv setup, right? And in this venv you can see all the files and set site packages over here. So it's all pretty cool. And okay, this was not the presentation. Yeah, this was the presentation. Okay, so yeah, now when you are ready with Django, you can again see your Django whether it's installed properly or not by using the command pip show Django. And when you are done with that, when you're sure it's ready and it's working, you have to use a script called Django Admin. So basically, Django Admin is a script that is used for starting a project. It helps you run server and it helps you do a lot of stuff that we will be discussing later. But now you just have to be in your main project file and project folder, and from there on, you just need to type this command. And it will take a while when you type your project name and you execute it. And that's why I'm not doing it hands-on. So just do it. And once you're done with that, you will be having a window like this. So I am here in my Python and I have initiated my project, right? And okay, now the point is when Django admin script creates my project, it gives me a lot of files here by default. So before moving ahead, we really need to understand what are these files and what are their values. So init.py is basically just to let the community edition know that this is a Python package. So it's pretty empty. It do not have anything, but it's just there to mark the advantage over there. And ASDI and WSDI files are for production environment, whereas as of now we are in the development environment. And if I talk about development environment here, so yeah, when it comes to development environment, you have a debug set to true. And when you go into production environment, you really need to take care that you make it false. And why you need to do it is because, there is a possibility that when there is an error, it shows you the whole, like Django is very user friendly. Basically, Django is very admin friendly, I will say. So it will show you the error in complete detail. And you don't want your user to see that error in complete detail. You just want to show the 404 error. You don't want to show why it occurred. So that's why you just make sure that it do not happens in the production environment. So yeah. And also a lot of people ask me like, okay, Django is a framework that I use for designing web apps. And we have a Flask as well, which is used for designing web apps. Now, when will I use Flask and when will I use Django? So, okay, you can see a lot of code here, which is by default. And trust me, when you are working with the Django, you will have to create a secret key. You will have to set the path. You will have to do write all of this code on your own. So basically, your Flask is like a micro framework, and you use it when you want to code from scratch. Whereas Django comes with in a lot of built-in stuff, and we use it when we just want to get started with our work. And yeah, so yeah, I said a lot of things are already done here. So there are a lot of installed applications by default. Although what these applications do, we will not be discussing as of now. But yeah, you really need to know. You can search on. Okay, there is one more thing that you need to know. When it comes to comments, Django is again very user friendly for this. You can I told you about this command, right? So you can see it over here as well. And also when it comes to Django, do not search for videos or any other sources. Just go to the documentation. Just understand the basics from someone and go to the documentation. You will understand all. And moving ahead, URLs. So we have just one URL as of now, and this says something. I don't understand what that is. So let's just leave it for now, and let me just try to run my server using my script. And for that, we are going to use a Django admin run server. Okay, and there's one file that I've left to discuss, and okay, we will discuss it in a bit. Let's see. I'm just waiting for my output. And my system is behaving very slowly because it just Windows got updated. I'm so sorry for that. Okay, so yeah, here I'm having a very big output. So the output says settings are not configured. You must either define the environment variable or call settings. So yeah, this is the problem. When you are trying to run the server using your admin script, you need to set these things. But I'm a newbie and I don't know what these things are. So I'm going to use my manage.py. As you can see, it's like my settings module, my project, my main method is set. And when I run this script, I'm going to have my if name equals to main, it will run my main function and my project will be ready. So let me just try to run it using python manage.py and run server. Okay, and it says that I cannot open this file. I hope you people understood what's the error, but if you didn't, then try to be more focused, I'll say. Okay, so basically the problem is that I am here in my first step in Django, which is this file. And in this file, there is no manage.py. So I will have to go one level deeper. And if I go into my project from here, then I can have, yeah, then I have manage.py, right? Okay, so let me try to execute it now. Okay, so it shows something like there are 17 unapplied migrations, but okay, let's forget it for now and let me just try to execute my server. Right click on it, right click on it, or just click on it and it will execute. And let me check if it is executing. Um, okay, yeah, it's executing. Okay. Well, till the time it's executing, there's one thing that there are two things that you need to understand. Like there is a database created by default, DB SQLite 3. It wasn't there before, and it just created as soon as I started, started my server, right? And also, there's one thing that you need to understand is like port and my IP address. If you do not understand this, then just surf the web or ask someone. Like this is a combination of IP address and the port on which it's running. So yeah, I have my port and like I have my server running here. So when I see this, I did not write any of this code, and I can see a lot of code over here. There is a lot of things running. And also when I can see there are many GET requests. Wait, so okay, wait, let me just shrink it a bit. Okay, this should be fine. Yeah, so even when I refresh it, there is a GET request generated over here. So, okay, and as we saw that there is one path of admin over here. So let me just try and access it. If I go with admin, it is no such table Django session. Okay, okay, and there is a problem. Okay, so what is the problem? Like as we earlier saw that there were 17 unapplied migrations. So I guess this must be the problem. And if I read the problem, and yeah, there's some problem related to models and all. You can read the whole problem, but you will not understand a lot of it. But there's just one thing that you need to understand and note that this all is working because I did set my debug to true, and it won't be here if I did set it to false. Okay, so let me just talk about that now. Okay, so before understanding migrations, we need to understand object relational mapper, or we call it ORM. So what is your object relational mapper? You may have worked with a database like SQL or SQLite or MongoDB, but these are specific. These are specifics, right? But when I'm talking about a mapper, I do not think of my database that I'm using. So it is independent of that. It's basically like it is a mapper, and I can map any language into it. So maybe you can use a SQL, maybe you can use MongoDB later, but it's just a mapper over there. Now, and with these mappers come a utility called migrations. And when we are discussing about migrations, it's like, okay, you may have faced a problem where you create a table and you suppose as of now you have 5 columns in that, but later in some point of time you realized, no, I want another column as well, so you add a sixth column. But when you are trying to add a sixth column, there is a lot of data that you have put into your table already. So what will you do? You will have to drop your table, you will have to recreate and insert the data again. That will you probably do, right? But when it comes to migration, it becomes so handy. It's like migrations auto-generate all the code based on your ORM, or I can say based on your classes in Python that we will be writing very soon. Okay, so this is how and this is why we use migrations. So now when it okay, so when we know that, we can see our migrations. And okay, so I guess my session. Yeah, if you did not notice, to stop my server, I used Control C. Okay, you can see it written below as well, but if you did not notice, then use Control C to stop your server. And now when I want to see my migrations, You use python manage.py show migrations. Okay. So there are a lot of migrations that I can see. Three are from admin, 11 are from authentication, and a lot of migrations. So yeah, we really need to apply these migrations to set up a basic layout for our Django project to start working. And to do that, we will have to use like almost the same commands, but we will have to do python manage.py make migrations. This is what you are going to use whenever you want to, like whenever you create any model. Okay, so it did not detect any change because these are my default changes that we need. So, okay, and we just migrate. So for that, we say python manage.py migrate. Okay, and tapping applied. Mm, okay. Okay, my migrations are applied, but I need to do one thing. Okay, let me show you one thing. First step in Python.
Pallavi, excuse me,
Yeah,
Pallavi.
yeah, yeah. I can hear you.
Yeah, so like we're having some questions.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
we're just I need to answer these. These are like a bit urgent.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
go ahead.
first one is should 19SW listen it? Guys, like if you want to acquire knowledge, literally this is the best time. The first year, the second semester you guys are in, this is the best time to learn this. I know कि बहुत सी बातें ऐसी होंगी जो सर के ऊपर से गुजर रही होंगी, कुछ इतना समझ में नहीं आ रहा होगा, but try to grasp it as much as possible. Like you won't get a better time than this time. Okay, then excuse me. Yes, 17 and 17 F16TL72. Your name is not visible. Yeah, we are recording this meeting. Yeah, we're recording this meeting. Okay, like 19SW. Okay, yeah, Mohammed Naveed. You have a question. Kindly unmute your mic and you can ask the question. I'm so sorry, Pallavi. Just give me 2 minutes to resolve this, please.
That's okay. That's pretty fine. Take your time.
Let me know the hosting requirement as I'm unable to host my unable to host my Django website on my GoDaddy shared hosting. Yeah, can we have this question answer session in the last, please? Like in the end, we'll take all the questions. Okay, guys. Uh, Thank you so much. Okay, Pallavi, please.
Okay, and before continuing, I would like to say if there is anything that you feel like it's going a bit above your head, just ask me. I can try to go a little deeper. So yeah, we can go ahead with that too. So let me know if there's anything that you do not understand and I need to go down. Okay? Shall I proceed now?
Yeah, Pallavi, sorry, I didn't get you.
Yeah, I was just saying that in case there is anything where like people feel like it's going above the head and I need to go a little deeper, I can try with that too. So let me know if there is any such query. Okay, and I assume his network is not very fine. Okay, so I will proceed. Okay, so when I reach my project from here, like as we created my project. Okay, so as we created the project in first tab in Django, and we are in the file, and we are in my folder in my project as well, and I am here. I am having my database here. So for that, like if you're trying to open it in your system now, it may not open because you do not have SQLite 3. So to open it, you will have to download SQLite 3, and then only it will open. So, okay, I will show you as of now, but you can ask me later like how to download it maybe, but not now. Okay, so these are my default tables that I created. Oh no, I guess I opened the wrong project. Let me see. First step in Django and first step in, okay, okay, yes. Yeah, so these are the defaults that I created. So you can see there are a lot of authentication and admin and Django based, so which I really do not understand what are they, so I will skip them. But you just need to understand that these tables are being created by default, and what is their content you can see that too. But like this is only useful when you're trying to work with open source and you are actually trying to contribute something over there. So we can skip that for now. I will keep it open. Okay. Okay. So let me just run my server again. And okay, it's what it. Um, Okay, static request font. Okay, okay, okay. So yeah, it generated when I tried to go to admin, it automatically like put forward me to this as well. I did not add this in my URL, but okay, it asked me to log in. But how can I log in? I do not have a, even account. So firstly, I need to sign up, right? Then only I can log in. And for that, I cannot see any option here. So like I will have to create a username using my server, like using my terminal. So for that, you will have to use a command called python manage.py, and I want to create a super user because for like admin is going to need a super user that will be the main admin. So I want to create a super user, and yeah, username leave blank to use Pallavi. So yeah, I will leave blank. Email address wiki.pallavi. This is my mail address. Password. Okay, let me make it. Okay. Okay, the password is too short. Let's just keep it. Okay. Okay, so my super user is created. Let me try to execute it once again. I run my server again, and I try to refresh it. Okay, so let me just try to go with the password and I log in. Okay, maybe later. Okay, so okay, I did not do any of this. I did not make any HTML files, no CSS files, no JavaScript yet, but still this is all you get by default. So this is really wonderful when it comes to your Django, that you get a lot of things by default. You just need to start working. I can even add new users from here. Maybe like, okay, let's add and password. Okay, let me just give a simple name as a password. Okay. Do anyone wants to say anything? I can hear a background noise. Okay, done. Okay, so okay, moving ahead. So when I created the password and the password name was just his name, and it showed me, okay, the password is too similar to the username. So again, it's not only providing you an interface, it has been coded very smartly. It tries to figure out a lot of stuff on its own. Even when I try to create a password like Musu123, it should accept it now. But again, it will not accept it because it says the password is too similar to the username. So again, it's very smart. So let me just create a password name like 12345 or okay. Mm, yeah, it should be same. Save. Okay, sorry. 1234 123 123. Okay, let me just save it. Come on, it was not short. Okay, let's just use MSP command here. MSP command. Okay. Okay, you should save it now, please. Okay. So yeah, the user has been created, and you can edit the personal information. You can set the permissions. Okay, you can set the permissions over here, and plus there's one very good feature when it comes to this. You can add the permissions directly, like what you want your user, your staff member, or like maybe the organizer, what you want to allow. So maybe I just want to give all the permissions related to work, right? And that's the only right that I'm giving. And yes, I'm good to go. And plus you can have your like date joined or and all. So you can simply do all that management without nothing. You're good to go, right? Okay, let me just save. So you can see it here, we can do it here, but okay. But this is not what we want, right? Because I want my customization, because I'm a developer and I want my stuff to be there. Maybe I want to design my pages my way. And specifically, as you can see that this is about admin. So maybe if I am the admin, I want to use this as like as a super user. But I do not want my users to have this interface. I don't want them to see this. I want to have a different interface for them. So that's what we really need to design. And when it comes to designing that, we will be creating different applications for that. And why am I creating applications and I'm not doing that work in my project is when it comes to any framework. When it comes to any such framework, you are trying to create different applications for a particular use. So if I mention, if you're trying to work on maybe some flight system, so you can have a different applications for like creating flight tickets or like ordering tickets or whatsoever the work is over there. So yeah, you will be needing to create the projects. And when it comes to create a project, to create application, I'm so sorry, pardon, I want to start an application. And okay, let me just name it my app. I'm just naming it my app because I don't know what I actually want to do while like using my app. But when you are working, please try to name your applications, name your project in a very distinct manner so that you can understand what was the fundamental use. Okay. Okay. It may take a while before it comes here. See. Okay. Again, don't hang, please. Okay, I can still not see it. I can see. Okay. Which softwares are you using? Well, I'm using Python Community Edition and Python 3.5 or 3.7, I guess. Yeah, my project, my app. Okay, so my app is here. Again, my app comes with a lot of inbuilt stuff. Okay, but before that, I have a query, and the query is like if my project, if like inside this project, my project folder, I am having my application, I'm having my core project. Why do I need this first step in Django folder? Why do I need to put all of my stuff in this, and like in that folder I'm having another project and in another? Why do I need to create so many folders? So basically the core fundamental use of creating a core folder, like a root folder, like the first step in Django that I've created here, is when it comes to distribution. Maybe you are trying to create a Git repo. When you are trying to have your project on GitHub, you will be having Git ignore files over there. You will be having like requirements or other files dot get storage. So for all that storage we need this folder, and inside this folder is going to reside your project, the core project files, as well as all the applications that you need. Okay, and let's move ahead with this. And again, init.py is just to like mention that it's a package, it's a Python package. And we do not have a lot of okay, I do not need test. This is again used when you are working in production environment, and I'm not working in production environment, so I do not need it. So just delete, and yeah, you are good to go. And plus, whenever you are trying to delete or rename any file in PyCharm or any other IDE or system or software that you are using, just make sure that you use refactor. Don't directly rename it, because when you are directly renaming it, it's like you will be renaming it at only one place, but you want to rename it at all the places. Now, okay, I have created my application, but it's not still linked with my core project. So to do that, you will have to edit in your settings here. So in my settings, I have my installed applications, and in my installed applications, I add my application, which is named my app, and just make sure that you name it very correctly, considering the caps as well. Otherwise, it will show errors, right? Okay. Okay, now let me have a view. But before having a view, let me just discuss with you like what are views and why you may need it. Okay. Okay, we are done with this. And I've also discussed this. We have created an admin interface. In case you're confused, let me remind you, we created an admin interface using a super user, a python manage.py create super user, and it is used as an admin. You can add your staff over there, or maybe super users as well, but you will like it's just for admin, and we are now trying to create our own interface. And for that, we need to understand this model template view, and as of now we are going to create views out of it. So to understand it, like your views are going to be your core functionality that you want to provide, and your core functionality is your functions when it comes to Python, right? So let me add a view over here. So when I want to create a view, you just give it a name. Maybe I just want to name it welcome, and this is going to respond. This is going to get a request object, and after that, I want to return HTTP response in my welcome. Okay, and if you're not very familiar with PyCharm, to do or to import anything, you can simply use Alt Enter. And when you use Alt Enter, it will show you a lot of options and decide which one to use. So like here, I want to use this. So okay, I do this, and the error is gone. Plus, let's reformat the file, and yeah, we are good to go. Okay, I have created a view now, but I want to link my view to my model. Like, no, okay, forget it. I don't want to link it to my model. I have created a view here, but how will my project know that this is the function that it has to load, and when it has to load this function? Well, I want this function to be loaded when I reach a particular URL. And for that, I will have to set my URL first. So here, this is the place where you set your URLs. So let me say that I want to have this when I go for welcome, when I search for welcome. And the second argument that you need to provide is your function name, and my function name is welcome. And again, There's a third argument that you can provide, which is your name, but let's leave it for now. Okay, and let me import it. I want to import it from my app dot views. Oh my god, I want to import from this, and I want to import welcome. Yes. Okay, but okay, everything seems correct, but still it's showing error. Well, the error is possibly because like it's not having correct root. So to set correct root, let's do one thing. I just want this directory to be my root directory. So let's just make it source root. Okay, it will remove in a while, and still again it's taking time. Okay, I made the wrong file. I want this to be my source root. Source root. Okay. Just make sure that you name the files correct way. Excuse. Mm, mm, mm. Okay. Yeah. So this is also gone. If you are still confused like on what I did right now, just go to the correct place, just right click and you will see a lot of options here. Just mark your directory as whatever you want. I have already marked it as my root directory, so it's view over here, and we want it to be a root directory so that I can have my views this way. Okay. Okay, let me just try to run my server once again. Okay, so my server is running, and let me just go to root. Okay, so the root says that the page is not found because I have not added any URL for my root, right? So there is no function that can be executed at my root. So for that, let me just go to my URL that I did add, and it says welcome, right? So this is how it works. You add a view and you add a URL for that. But before that, when you create your app, you have to edit in your settings. So don't forget any step. If you forget it, it will show errors. But again, when it shows errors, you will be able to identify if you just read them properly, because as I mentioned, Django is very user friendly. So, okay, but there is a problem. I don't want it to say welcome. I want it to say welcome to a particular person. Maybe I just want to welcome my friend. So let me add another view for that. Def want to create, and again responding to the request, and let's have a name, and I want to now return HTTP response. And okay, and you must be familiar with formatted strings in Python. If you are not, give it a read. Formatted strings in Python. Okay, and here I'm using formatted strings in Python. For that, I'm saying okay, welcome, and I want to have a name. Okay, so this is how you can add. This is how the formatted strings work. Okay, and it is showing me here with zigzag lines, so I will reformat my file. Done. Okay, again I have added a view, but I need to set URL for this, right? Okay, but now again I'm passing something to my function over there. But how to edit in my path? When you want to add anything in your path, maybe I want to say welcome, and yeah, this is a string type, and your variable name is your name, right? So this is how you add it. And plus, what was the name of the function? The function name is greet. And now you again have to import it, and I want to import it from my app.views, very right. So okay, we are again good to go. And this is a very good point again, it refreshes automatically. And still, if we do not refreshes automatically, okay, I want to say, okay, so it shows in a particular way. So, but like you must be thinking, when can I use this? So you can. This comes very useful when you are working with your models and you want to like view a model with a particular key maybe. So we will be discussing it, but before that we need to discuss models, right? And we have discussed migrations. We have discussed migrations. We have discussed ORM, and now we are going to go with models. But what are models again? So if I come here, your model is your like your model classes are your database tables. So this may sound a little like weird that how can my classes be tables? Well, this is the utility that we have over here when it comes to migrations in ORM. We are going to create simple classes in Python, and these simple classes in Python are going to be converted to a database that you want to. And by default, it converts to SQLite 3, but you can change it when you proceed ahead. Okay, so okay, and where to add my models? Well, we have a file over here, models.py, and we have it imported from here. So okay, let's go ahead and I want to add a model. I have a model class created over here, so I will simply copy and paste it. Let me see how it goes. Okay, and again, yes. Okay. Okay, so in my class, I am having like four attributes here. Not these are not called attributes. These are your data members. Okay, and these are title, URL, user, and date. And every model needs to be it needs to be from a model, like model the superclass. So this is how you initiate whenever you're trying to create another any model. Okay, and also you can see that we are not declaring here in a very generic way. We are using a very different format here. You can have like, okay, suppose I'm trying to add any file, and yeah, so you can have a lot of sort of fields. There are a lot of fields you can add, and when it comes to these fields, there is one very specific feature. Like if you're having an email field, it will make sure that like it follows the clear format. Like as of now, if I'm having a like URL field over here, so it will make sure that it's not only www.google.com. It follows the principle of HTTP. So that's what the utility we have over here. We are having we are having a lot of code that we really need not to write. Okay, so okay, I have my class here. I have my class here, and my model should be ready. But before that, let me just see my migrations and Python manage.py. Let me. Okay, and it shows me that I'm having some migrations. My app is having no migration. Okay, so let me just make migrations because it's not having any migrations yet. So okay, so there is one migration from my app and it creates a model bookmark URL. Okay, so I am having a migration over here. Okay, so still the migration is created, but this migration is not a part of your database, right? As I mentioned, okay, let's have a look at this migration. When you are having a look at this migration, I have a model here, and this model, like this is my table name, and these are going to be my fields. Okay, I added these four fields over here, but I did not add this field, right? The ID field, and this is my primary key also. So this is again provided by Python, by Django by default. Okay, so okay, let me just convert it into my SQL format, SQLite format, and for that, let me just execute Python manage.py and SQL migrate and my app name. Okay, so my app name is my app, and okay, I need to name the migration. to name the migration, you really need not to write the complete name, just initial will be fine. So let's just go ahead with that. And it shows me like in an SQLite format. If you know SQLite, you must be able to understand. It has created, it follows this format, and these are the fields, the not null, primary key, and the variables, the other columns. Okay, so okay, but still, as I mentioned, this is just a migration. This is not a part of your database. So if I try to access it in my database here, it's it's not going to show me anything because migrations are not actual database. I cannot stress enough on this. Like, just make sure that you do not have any confusions in this. Okay, so you cannot see any table for that as of now. So let me just migrate. For that, you will need to migrate. Okay, so let's just migrate. It's running my migrations, and yes, when my migrations are run, okay, it should be here now, but it do not refreshes automatically, so I will have to reload it. Okay, yeah, so we can see my app bookmark URL. It is created over here, and ID, title, URL, user date. So this is what I edit, right? So my table is created here. So we are good to go ahead. But again, I want to input some data into this. How will I input some data into this? For that, you will need, and I want to input this data in two ways. Maybe I want to input it from my terminal, and maybe I want to input it from the like admin view that I saw earlier. So let's just go ahead with that, and let's just try if I want to edit from the admin perspective. And when I want to add anything in my table, in my any of the tables that I create from my admin perspective, I will have to register my model here first. Okay, and to register your model, you will have to use admin.site and simply register. So go ahead and the table name. But the table is not here yet, so let me just import it. And from where? Yes, my app.models. Yes, exactly, this is from where I want to import it. So yeah, we are again good to go. So let me run my server once again. Okay, run server. Yeah, I'm having my server ready once again. And okay, let me just go to my admin. Okay, so I am having my application, and for my application, I'm having this table bookmark URLs. And from here, I can simply add whatever I want to. So if I add, okay, let me just, okay, a meeting with Teams, and let me go ahead with the defaults. Hmm, maybe some ABCD, or let's just make it google.com. Okay, and user, okay, I'm the user. Again, I love this utility when it is providing all this interface by default to me. Okay, I want it known. Perfect, save. Okay, and let me just quickly add one another. Language. Let's just keep it. And go. Okay, save. Okay, so I'm having my two files here. Okay, so this is how you can directly add. And when I go to my home, I'm having this, and I can simply change it as well. So I can see, and I can change, I can delete. Okay, so this is very handy. But as I mentioned, that there is a possibility that you run into a problem and you decide, no, I want some extra column, or maybe I want to remove some. And I mentioned that migrations come to your help, and they are very, very easy to use. So, okay, let's see how they are easy to use. In my model, I want to add something. Okay, and what do I want to add? Okay. I want to add a field named duration, and I want to have a function as well. So, and this function is my string, and if you know and if you do not, then this str by default is used whenever you try to print. This is called automatic array. This is not what you call separately using your object dot notation. You just it just automatically it is automatically called. Okay, it's not loading, so I will edit. Okay, duration. I want to have a field. Okay, is it hanging? Oh my god. Okay, okay. Scroll down, go down, go down, and begin. I'm so sorry, I'm having trouble with my system because it just reloaded and it is updated recently. So, okay, I want to add another field called a duration, and I want it to be an integer field where we often just maybe I just want to, okay, I named my table very wrong, but I won't change it as of now because I'm just trying to create meetings over here, right? So this is my fundamental. So make sure that you name your tables correctly as well, because you actually need to understand like what you want to do with that. And also, as I was adding, return a formatted string. Yeah, whenever you want to access any data members, make sure that you use self dot notation. Otherwise, it will not identify. This is very particular when it comes to Python. This is all that I want. But it won't identify as of now. And plus, I need to make my migrations, right? So, okay, let's just try to make migrations. Okay, it says that I'm trying to add a non-nullable field duration, and okay, this is very right. I cannot do that because my database is having some entries, right? And if I'm adding an empty column, what will it put it there? Like you are having some entry in 4 columns and there is nothing in your 5th column, and also you mentioned that it is going to be non-nullable. So there is something that you need to do. So well, I'm just going to provide a default option there. So I will select 2 and enter. And okay, let me just add default here. And let me just name, okay, my meeting hour should be minimum 1. Okay, let's go ahead with that. And let me just make migrations now. Okay, okay, I'm so sorry. Okay, it added a field named duration to my bookmark URL. But okay, I added another function as well, but it did not take it into consideration. So this is a very important point, that my migrations, my models are not affected by my functions. My models are affected by my data members because these are going to behave as my columns over there. And also, if I want to check what did like what are the changes in my migrations, you can see that it is going to use the dependencies from this, like which was my initial migration. And later on, the operation being performed is that it did add another field named duration, and the default is 1 over there. Okay, great. So basically I'm good to go with my server and I can run it again. Okay, and let me just go to my. Okay, but it shows me some error. There's no field named duration. My app bookmark duration. Bookmark URL duration. Okay, let me just check it. What is the possible error? Default one, it should be good. Okay, okay, okay. I'm not able to understand what's the error. So I will remove the duration. But okay, and there are two possibilities that you can come up with in such a scenario, that you do not understand what you have added is correct or not, and plus you make it confused, like okay, this is the column that I did add, and you make many changes to your migrations. So there are two things that you can do at the end. You can either completely remove the changes that you did make, like if I remove this change, will it affect my migration? Yes, it will certainly affect my migration, because I have, like, this is my final migration as of now. So in that scenario, I will have to remove this as well. And also what you can do is you can completely remove all the migrations, because when you remove all the migrations, there is no table by default. So if there is no table by default, you really need not to provide any column, any default value. So you can start afresh. And this is very, very useful when it comes to your foreign keys. Okay. Maybe there is a possibility that I'm trying to have a multiple classes. When I am having multiple classes, basically I'm having multiple tables, then you will be having foreign key as well, where one table is dependent on another. And if this is a many-to-many relation, then there is a possibility that I'm trying to add a column in one table and it is completely affected by some another. So, well, there is, like, we use a cascading over there, which I cannot discuss as of now. I will provide a link at the end. You can visit that for view, because we are already running out of time, I guess. So, okay, let's discuss templates now. What are these templates? Okay, this is a very important part when it comes to your model template view, as we were discussing our model template view. So we did discuss model, we did discuss view, and when it comes to MTV, or maybe if you've worked with the web development, you may know it as MVC, model view controller over there. So this is very same, and these templates are going to be your like your presentation in front of the, these are going to be your interface over there. So we need two folders for these, like to add HTML solely we need a folder named templates, and for your JavaScript and your CSS you need a folder named static. Just make sure that you use the very same names, because when you are rendering any template, like when my view is going to find my template and it's going to render it, then it's going to like fetch the name, it's going to search for the names. Okay, and there's something very weird that I'm going to do now. It's like I'm going to create another directory within my templates directory here, and it's going to be named very same. Okay, and now you must be thinking that why do we need to do this? Well, we really need to do this because it's like at the end of the project, you are having different static files, you are having different template folders for each of your application. But this is very vague, because at the end you will need to merge all your templates and all your static folders. So for that, what we do is that when we are working with our applications, we just add the folder named as per the application, so that when we merge, we do not run into any problem. Okay, so in this, I will create a new file called like a new HTML file, and if you do not find this option, just create a file with .html format. Okay. So, okay, let me just create, uh, okay, I will name it index, and this is going to be HTML5 done. This is what I want. Okay, so I'm having my file here. Let's just keep it this way, and let's just have a heading here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, I'm just going to have a paragraph here. So for those of you who do not know, lorem ipsum is for web developers. You just type this and you press tab, and you have a lot of text for your sample work. Okay, so now I have this template and I want to render it. And like if I want to render it, suppose from this particular view. So it's like as of now, we were sending HTTP responses, but now we want to render a template. Okay, so we will render it using render, and I want to render it like my request. Okay, request. It's we are using request as of now, but when you go deeper into your Django in your Django journey, you will understand that this request do not contains only the get and the like get and post. It's going to contain a lot of cookies and sessions as well, and we use these cookies and sessions like when we are having sign up and login formats, right? And okay, so my app, I'm having my application, and the file that I'm trying to, the template that I'm trying to render is named index.html, right? Okay, so this should work now. Okay, let me just run my server. And if you remember right, then the URL mapping for this is welcome. Okay, so let's just check. Okay, I don't want to go here. Just want to go. And yes, so this is basically a quick check for you to confirm that your templates are rendering very well and your connections are good to go. In a similar manner, you will be creating your static folder, and make sure in your static folder you again create your folder named after your application, and yeah, you are good to go. I'm not adding static files over here because this will take a lot of time for us. And okay, moving ahead, I don't want to simply work with my templates here. I want to have some functionalities with my templates. But before having those functionalities, okay, let's just have those functionalities. Maybe I just want to have a message over here. And to have that message, I want it to be dynamic. I want it to be sent by someone. Basically, I want it to be sent by URL or maybe some form. So this is a format that we use here. This is called a Jinja 2 templating. So these are the templates that we can insert anywhere, and they, like when our HTML page is rendered, before that these placeholders are replaced by the original data. So when it comes to Django, to insert the data, okay, so I'm having this template from this. Okay, so you are going to use a dictionary format over here, the key value pair. So I'm going to pass a message, and the message is going to be, this is from me. Okay, okay. So yeah, this is the format that we follow, the key value pairs. Let me just check if it works. It's refreshing, and yeah, it's refreshed. Okay, okay. So this was passed by me as of now. I did write it here, but this is not what we want to do always, because maybe I just want to have some other formats, or maybe I just want to pass it directly from my URL. So you can do it that way too. But I'll show you that in a minute. But before that, let's just go to, okay, let's just stop my server with Control C, and Python manage.py, and I want to work on my shell as of now. I want to show some stuff over there. And just make sure, well, I committed this mistake, so I advise not to, no, I advise you not to commit this mistake. You may think of using the Python console here directly. Okay, well, you can completely use that Python console, but there's just one problem, that when you are trying to access the core functionalities, like when you're trying to access your models, or when you're trying to work with your templates from your shell, you need to have those settings that I mentioned in the in the first step that we mentioned in the starting. Like, you need to set those Python paths, you need to set these modules. So like, we are not having these environmental configurations set up, so we just keep on working with the manage.py. Okay, so that's how we start our shell as well. So now I want to import from my app dot models, and my class was named, if I check bookmark URL, import, And from a date time, this is a Python module I'm importing from, if you do not know. Okay, so I'm going to have a temporary variable, and I'm going to access bookmark URL dot objects. Just make sure it is objects, not object, and I want to have all. Now let's see what this temp is. Right, this is a query set. This is about Python frameworks. This is not only specific to Django, or I can say this is about object relational mappers. Like we will always work with query sets over there. So my query set is having like two elements. First element is this, and my second element is this. Now, if you're wondering how to access these elements, I can simply access them using the indexing. Temp of 0 is going to give you this bookmark, and with like you can follow other format as well. Okay, and if you want to have a particular thing, I want to have a username. Okay, so what's the username? Okay, this is the username. So this is how you're going to access it, right? Okay, but I want to access it from my from my model, from my index HTML as well. But before doing that, I need to understand there are a lot of features when it comes to this. Okay, now if I can have first, there are a lot of functions. Just keep on trying. Also, just search, just browse over the net. You will find a lot of functions over there. So and knowing them is a very good thing, because you will be using them at like some moment or the other. So okay. Mm, okay, I want to access. Okay, let's not do this. Let me just try to create a bookmark URL from here. As I mentioned, that we can do it from here as well. So I want to create a bookmark URL, and my ID is going to be okay. Two. What? I'm having two objects already. So and the counting with the indexing starts from one. When it comes to your like, okay, so this can be confusing, but your indexing starts from 0. But when it comes to your primary key, it is being started by 1. Okay, so I just give it a name 3, and I'm having a title. So again, Django session maybe. Okay, let's just keep it this way. And URL. So URL can be .com. Okay, and user. So we all are the users, and the date can be date time dot now. I want to give it. Okay, so I have created a variable here. Basically, I have created my object here. So this is my this is the row that I want to insert in my table. But like I have created the row, but how to insert it? To insert it, it's again very simple. You just save it. Okay, just note the warning about the time zones, but okay, I don't want to focus on that as of now. So yeah, I can simply check whether it was stored or not. Uh, okay, and I want to check off. So okay, so yeah, my meeting is stored. So we are good to go. So Control Z, and Control Z is for exiting your console. So okay, here am I. Here I am. And moving on with our views. Okay, now I want to pass something from here. So I want to pass my meeting object, and I want to pass all my meetings. And to have all my meetings, let me just have bookmark URL dot objects as we did run as of now, dot all. Okay, so this is what we are going to pass, and we need to import it as well. So okay, import is done. I want to add, and this is going to be my meetings. These are going to be meetings. Okay, sorry. Okay, yes, we are done. Okay, also I do not need message now. So let's just remove it. Oh, okay. So yeah, okay. Now I am passing this, but I want to access it here as well. And when I want to access it, so let's just remove this. And I want to show my URLs and like I want to show the meetings that I did it. So let's just have like meetings for the day. For day. And I want to have an unordered listing here. And in unordered listing, I want to have a list. And when do I want to have this list? For that, I want to create a for loop over here. And again, I'm using a feature from Jinja. That's a Jinja like for loops. I can have for loops over here. And I want to say for meeting in meetings. And this meetings variable is like we are passing it here. And okay, so what are the things that I am having in my meeting? I'm having the title, URL, user, and date. Okay, a meeting organized by a meeting by, and I can simply access it using meeting.user, uh, anchor tech, and okay. Okay, and if you are having any doubt, then like when it comes to your Jinja templating, you can add Jinja templating anyway. Like I can add it in attributes. I can like it is senseless. Even I can add a Jinja template over here. Although it won't make sense, and when it renders, it will do nothing over there. But still, you can add Jinja templating wherever you want. It's just a placeholder. Okay, and I want to have meeting.url over here. Okay, let's just keep it for now. And don't forget, like when it comes to your Jinja templating, whenever you are starting some loop or any, you are having for loops, if while, just make sure that you end those things. For that, there is one constant way when it comes to Jinja. Uh, End, you start with end and you follow with what is the thing about. So it can be end for, end block, or end if, and whatsoever. So yeah, again, I'm good with this. So let's just try to run our server once again. Python manage.py run server. Okay, so my server is running. Yeah, so meetings of the day. So I'm having an unordered list here, and in that unordered list, I'm having three meetings. One was organized by this. Okay, okay, but how is this happening? I want to check. I want to inspect my elements. Okay, so for that, the shortcut is Control Shift I, but you can open it from here as well. So okay, I'm having okay. It's again start. Okay, meetings, my heading, unordered list. And if I inspect my particular list, then okay. So you can see that this is replaced by a name and the href is also replaced here. So this is the thing that I did mention, whenever you are using Jinja templates, these are just placeholders and these are going to be replaced before you render your page. Okay. Uh, Okay, well, there is a lot that you need to know. It's I guess there's a lot of stuff that I wanted to discuss after this. URL mapping forms. Okay, so okay, when you're working with the URLs, there's one thing that you cannot directly use your URLs like everywhere, because if you're using your URLs, suppose I'm having my application named this as of now, and I'm having particular files in this, and based on that, I named my URLs. But later, in some point of time, it is a very big possibility that I changed my package and I changed the sources. So in that scenario, you will be changing the locations and you will have to change it everywhere. So we use linking over there. We do not use direct URL mappings. We use linking, and I cannot discuss that as of now. I will be sharing the link. You can go, you can visit there, and yeah, okay. Okay, it's 21:52. Mercer, I think I will take up the queries now, and also for further I did a tutorial like for like you can go ahead with that tutorial after this, and I will be sharing the link in the chat itself.
Okay, well, that would be fine. Like, if you want to like continue the session, that is still completely fine. I think most of the students present here are literally enjoying your session.
No, I
But well,
completely
like,
understand it, but there is one problem. When we start with there is one thing that I've always like whenever I taught anyone a Django, there was one constant problem. There is a lot of stuff, and there are a lot of commands that people start getting confused. What was where to add
oh,
that and where to add that. So I would like to have keep it this much for now, and to go ahead, I
okay,
will
that
be sharing the link. Yeah. Let me just. We can go ahead with the queries.
okay. Well, so guys, like, if you have any queries, you can ask them up. I don't. I personally don't think so. That after this much brief and like very great session, कोई सवाल होंगे आप लोगों के. If still there are some questions, feel free to ask them. You can open your mic and ask the questions, or you can write them up in the chat section. Okay, well, for starters, I have also shared the feedback form link over here. Okay, yeah, I like Pallavi. We should, I think, we should first address to the questions already asked.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So
Okay,
shall I read those in the chat, or you are going to ask the questions?
I don't know why my laptop is going slow, but yeah, I'm going to. I shall read them out. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
The question was by Mohammed Naveed. He
Mm-hmm.
asks, "Let me know the hosting requirement, as I'm unable to host my Django website on my GoDaddy shared hosting. Kindly cover this point before closure of the session."
Okay, yeah, we are covering this. Okay, but there is one point when you are creating a Django project, this is not your website. So you cannot directly host it on your GoDaddy. Even if recently I was trying to create the GitHub IO link so that I can share my project, I can share the website. But this is one particular thing when it comes to Django. It is a collection of web apps. It is not a website, so you cannot directly host it on GoDaddy. So you will have to use particular softwares over there, which I'm not so sure about. So please contact me after this, and I will share the sources, and I will provide you with the correct info after this. I'm not very sure and very correct about it as of now. Can you please explain? You ask what?
Well, like, guys, I'll also be, if Pallavi is sharing that's great, or else I'll be sharing Pallavi's email address with you guys, so you can just hit her up for this. Okay, so should we move to the other question?
Yeah, yeah, we can.
Okay, so this question is by Hina. She asks, so is this a default authentication provided by the framework, or did you run any command to generate it? Like, do
No.
you get it when you download the fresh copy of the project?
Yeah,
Oh, and this question has
you
got
get.
two thumbs up as well.
Okay, okay. You get all this by default. All these authentication and admin things are provided by default when you just run the script Django admin create project. So this is by default, and this is the very big functionality. That's why Django is bit heavy framework, we can say.
Well,
Anything
okay,
that I
and
missed from the question?
we are having which softwares are you using?
Yeah, well, I answered it earlier, but again, answering it, okay, I was using PyCharm Community Edition and I have Python 3.5 version downloaded on my system. So you need to have that, or either you can use any software that you are comfortable with. But I personally recommend PyCharm. I guess you were not there in the starting of the session, so I also mentioned it there that I recommend PyCharm because of the like virtual environment, the GitHub support, as well as like the terminal and the Python console. So there are a lot of features with the PyCharm Community Edition. So I personally recommend that.
Okay, and so guys, like for PyCharm and yeah, PyCharm, I would say that you all are required to fill up the feedback form so that we can have the raffles at the end of the session, because we have two coupons by JetBrains. Like you can have any community edition product of JetBrains completely free for lifetime. That is 100% discount code. So like you need to fill up the feedback form first. We'll be taking names for the raffle from there. Okay, we have acha, we also had Farhan as well. Sayed Farhan. He asked, "Hey everyone, hey."
Oh,
Okay.
hi.
But I think so he left because we have Tesseract meeting as well, and
Ah.
like we too missed it as well today as well.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay. Well,
Okay,
I am
feedback.
going to be part of festival as well. Okay. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead with the questions.
Yeah, are you working on web development?
Yes, I am. Like, I will not say that I'm full time working on web development, but yeah, I am working in web development field. Well, Musa is working in web development. You can contact him. He's better in that. So yeah.
Okay, yeah. So like we have another question. Pallavi Agarwal, which language should I learn now? I'm studying BScs first semester. I have learned PHP, CSS, HTML before. Need your sincere suggestion and which platform is best for learning them?
Okay. Okay. If you're familiar with the HTML, CSS, and PHP, so I will say that you need to run few stuff, and you are good to go with website designing because like you have good fundamentals. Just make sure that whatever you run, you have good fundamentals in that. Plus, if you are actually like, if you can actually consider learning a new language, then I will sincerely suggest you to go with Python because Python, like I know around 4 to 5 languages, and trust me, Python is easiest of all. So it's like when you are reading Python, it's like reading English. And also, like if I think about the past when Python was created, so it was initially created for children, if you do not know. So trust me, Python is very easy, and once you know Python, you have a lot of options available. So yeah, I will sincerely recommend you to go with Python. And after that, you can create your websites. You can like even if you're thinking of creating a fully functional website and not using any framework, then also Python. I guess most of Python works as a link over there, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to your front end and back end.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, you will be needing it there too. And plus, Python is like it's everywhere as of now, as far as I can think. So yeah, I sincerely recommend you that. And don't think that you are in BSc or BTech. Trust me, it's all same. In our community, we have people who are doing MBA and are great in computers. So it's good time, and you can start working on it. And you can contact me after this session too if you feel like. Yeah,
Okay, so
you can go.
like we have another question by Hina again. Can you please explain MTV model? Is View working as a controller?
Okay. Okay. So yeah, Vue, you understood it very correctly. Vue is working as a controller. MTV, when it comes to your model template view, this is a whole model where you can have your complete site working. So this is basically like your models are your database, and for those database, you are using an HTML, you're using your HTML, CSS, JavaScript, you are using those templates to be rendered for the user to see and access and use. And from there, like, okay, and even when these templates are being rendered, these are rendered by a controller. So this is basically, if I explain in a short that in a Rayman language, this is basically like whenever you generate an HTTP request, you are generating a GET request. The GET request generates like a URL mapping is generated, and for that, like it goes to a view. And okay, I can also see a person asking, can you give a short recap on Django? So, okay, if I complete it all, this is basically like you start with your project in your Django, and after that, you create your applications based on your particular need. And in those, whenever you create any application, you link it with your main project in your via your installed applications. Now the thing is about model template view. It's like okay, whenever the HTTP request is generated, it's going to send a request via a URL. So for that, you are going to need a URL mapping over there, which is again done in urls.py, right? And after that, it's going to search for a view, and this view is also called a controller. Like this is when we were not having the Python times, we were using model view controller. So like yeah, it is going to search for view over there, and the view in Python is the function that is going to decide what has to be done for this HTTP request. For a particular HTTP request, we want to do a particular work, and for that particular work, we are going to have a particular function. And after that, we are going to decide, okay, this is the template that I want to render now. And now when you want to render that template, when particular, like when you are responding to a particular, okay, when I go to www.google.com, I'm generating an HTTP request over there. And the view, the page that I see after that is the result. It's the result that is sent back to me. So the view sent back to you and like the fully formed template. And while doing that, your template may need to interact with your models as well. So because there you maybe need to have some database that you want in your template, and for that we this is how your model template view works. I want to share some PNG. I'll search for it and will share. Wait, if it is still not clear. Mosa, you go ahead with the questions. I'll search for the PNG if I can find, and I'll share it in
Yeah,
the chat.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, I have an announcement. Uh, from the feedback form I have got, there is a name. Uh, I'm sorry to I have to call this completely in the open. Miss Aisha Maiman. Uh, are you still? If you are still in the meeting, please fill up the form again and give your complete email address. Guys, please give your complete email address so that we can email you your certificates correctly. Because if there is some issues in the email, so we are always unable to send you the certificates, and then you can uh, uh, at Itazaz ul Hassan, you can find the link in the chat history. There is some connectivity issue. Okay, so like yeah, you can have it. You are the please fill up the form again. Okay, so Pallavi, I like should we close the QA session, or like guys, if you have any other question, please feel free to ask, or like you can email Miss Pallavi as well. Would
Yeah.
that be okay, Pallavi?
Yeah, definitely. You can
Let me.
contact me over LinkedIn, or you can like mail me, whatever you feel like you can do.
You can email Pallavi at this email. Pallavi Agarwal, please share easy way to connect you, not email. Okay, you can find Pallavi on LinkedIn. You can find Pallavi on Facebook. Are you on Facebook, Pallavi? I don't
Yeah,
remember.
I am on Facebook, but I'm not an active user, I'll say. So please
Yeah.
connect with me over LinkedIn. So, or you can connect with me over Twitter as well. So I have not shared that. So, and also wait, you can go ahead with learning your
Okay, so I am closing the feedback forms in 10 seconds.
oh my
Okay.
God, 10 seconds.
Yeah, because we have to raffle up as well.
Yeah, I understand. It's
I'm counting one,
oh,
two, three. Well, it's four,
it's fun.
five, six,
Six, seven,
seven, eight, 9, 10.
10.
Okay, we got a last second entry as well.
Oh my
Well,
God.
guys, the feedback forms are closed. If still someone hasn't filled out the feedback form, well, it's their bad luck. Or like you can share, you can ask me here to open the link again. I can be generous and open it for 20 more seconds.
Okay, 20 more seconds generosity. Okay, nice.
Yeah, but since no one is asking for extra time, let's just go with it. So I actually found a very great website to just raffle up the names.
Oh,
Okay, done. Please, what please? Can you please elaborate? Open form. Okay. Like, should I open form again? Okay. Guys, you have again got 20 seconds to fill up the form. One, two. Well, I'm not counting it. See, sounds so boring. Like, we are technology, technical people. I don't know what the term is. Which form?
okay. Which form? This is a very nice question.
Oh, guys, the feedback form. Okay, let me share the link again. 16AR35. Okay. So like 20 seconds are up. Should I close the form now? Just one yes and close the form. Should I close the form?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. And I won't be opening the forms again. Okay, so just let me download the responses, open them. Well, you see the process is very easy for raffling up when you know Python.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I was recently trying to do the web scraping work, and it's very easy when it comes to Python. I'm
Yeah,
so glad that I
exactly.
know Python.
Okay, split names by space, remove name from the list. Okay. So guys, we are going to have a first winner of the what do we call discount code. Okay.
Someone is
Who
saying that
is Mohammed Naveed at gmail.com? Congratulations, Mohammed Naveed at gmail.com. You are the first winner to win the uh, raffle. Brother recording. Okay, should I close the recording? Okay, sorry, I forgot to stop the recording. So sorry.